Today we are doing Module 4, problem set for Lesson 15. This is about slope. We're going to be determining slope and determining if it is positive or negative. So they want us to look at this graph here and decide, does this have a positive or negative slope? So whenever we determine slope, we always go from the left to the right. Just like reading a book, we go from left to right. And we determine, is this line going in an upward direction or a downward direction when it's going left to right? This is going down, right? This is a downward direction. Downward direction left to right. Therefore, this is going to be a negative slope. For number 2, once again, we're going to look at our line. And we have to look at it going from the left to the right, just like if we were reading it. And going from the left to the right, is it going down or is it going up? It's going upwards, right? Upwards. From the left to the right. Therefore, this is a positive slope. Let's look at problem number 3. And problem number 3, they want us to determine the slope of this non-vertical line. So remember, slope is always our rise over our run. Remember, if you want to run across the room, first you have to rise up off your seat in order to run. If you're sitting, you can't run. You got to rise before you run. So it's always rise over run. So we want to draw a triangle with our line that shows our rise over our run. So for here, our rise is going from 0 to 1. So we're going up 1. And our run is from 0 to 1. So we're going over 1. So our rise over run is 1 over 1, which, by the way, we can simplify that to be just 1. So this graph has a slope of 1 over 1, or the slope of 1. Let's look at number 4. We have this point here. We do need to find another point to work with, and we want to work with a point that is at an intersection. So we could choose this point, or we could choose this point. You wouldn't want to choose this point because it's not at an intersection. We want it to be at an intersection. Okay. So here we would once again drew our rise over our run. Here our rise is going down, isn't it? Our rise over our run. Now if we look at these numbers closely, we're going from 1.5 down to 0. So that's a 1.5 in our rise. It's actually a negative because we're going down, right? So it's a negative 1.5, and we go from negative 1 to 0, so our run is 1. So this is a 1.5 to 1. If we want to get rid of the decimal, we can multiply them both by 2, and we'd get a negative 3. 1.5 times 2 is 3. Negative 3 over 1 times 2 is 2. And this way we don't have a decimal in our slope. Okay. Now if you said, well, wait. I want to do these points instead. Right? Because Mrs. Egbert, you said we can do these points. Why can't I do these? You can. So once again, what's our rise? We go from negative 1.5 to 0, and it's going down, right? It's going down. So it's a negative 1.5. And from 0 to 1, that's a movement of 1. Once again, we're going to multiply these by 2, and we'd get a -3. Negative 1.5 times 2 is -3, and 1 times 2 is 2. And we get a -3/2, just like we got when we used these. So no matter what point you pick, you're going to get the same slope, but just make sure that you're making your selection of points at intersections so you have easier numbers to work with. Let's go on to number 5. They want to know the slope of this non-vertical line. So let's start with this point. It doesn't look like there's any down here that's at an intersection. So let's keep going up till we find one that's at an intersection. Oh, right here. There we go. So once we have our 2 points, we draw our right triangle with our rise over our run. Now if we look at this once again, we have decimals. Our rise goes from 0 to 2.5, so we're going up, so it's positive 2.5, and we're going from 0 to 1 over 1. To get rid of this decimal, we can multiply by 2, and this would give us a 5/2. Positive, because going from the left to the right, it's going up. Let's look at number 6. Number 6, they give us this point, and they actually give us our 2 points here. So let's do our rise is going up, so it's going to be positive, and our run is always to the right. So we go from 0 to 16. 0 to 16, so it's 16. And we go from 0, and this is 1. 0 to 1, so it's 1. So it's 16/1, or 16, and it is positive because it's going up. Let's go on to number 17. I'm sorry, number 7. Here's number 7. They give us our 2 points again. It was P and R. So let's do our rise over our run. Going up and down, we notice we have to go down to get from P to R. We have to go down, and then we have to go across. So it's going to be negative because we're going down. We're going from 14 to 4. 14 to 4. So 14 minus 4 is going to be 10. So that's a -10. And we're going from -2 to -1. So that's a difference of 1. So it's a -10/1, or a slope of -10. Remember, it's going downward left to right, so it's negative. Number 8. Again, they gave us our points, P and R. Don't worry about point Q. So we need to go our rise, and actually to go from P to R, we have to go down, right? So it's going to be a negative slope. And we go down from 0 to -5, so we go down 5. And we go from 0 to 1, we go over 1. So -5/1 is our slope, and we can simplify our slope to be -5. It's negative because it's going downward left to right. Let's go to number 9. They give us our P and our R. Don't worry about Q. So to go from P to R, from our left to our right, we have to go up. So it's going to be positive and over. We're going up 2. We're going over from 0 to 1 is 1. 2/1, or 2. Positive because it's upward direction. Number 10. Once again, they give us our P and our R. And to get from P to R, to go from our left to our right, we have to go down. Our rise is negative, and then across. So we're going from 4 to 2, going down. So that's a -2. And to the right, from -6 to -5 is a 1. -2/1 is our slope, which can be simplified as a -2. Once again, it's going downwards, left to right. Therefore, it is a negative. Let's look at number 11. They give us our P and our R. So this can be positive or negative slope. It's going upwards, right? It's going upwards from left to right. Therefore, it's going to be positive. Going up and to the right. So we're going up from -4 to -2. So that's a rise of 2. And we're going from -4 to -3. See the -4 to -3. So that's a run of 1. Rise of 2, run of 1. So our slope is 2/1, or a positive 2. Number 12. What do you think of this one? Positive or negative? Positive or negative? It's going to be positive, right? Because it's going upwards. So let's do our rise. We're going to go, let me see, each of these count by 1, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going up 5, from -3 to +2, we're going up 5. And we're going from 1 to 2, so we're going over 1. So this is a 5/1, which can be simplified to be a slope of 5, positive. Let's go to 13. Here's our P and our R. We're not going to worry about Q. So notice we're counting by 0.5s here, aren't we? So we're going up from -2 to 0.5. That's going up 1.5. Going from 2 to 1, because this is counting by 2 also, we're going over 1. Now if we want, we can multiply these by 2. We're going to get 3/2. And remember, this is positive. So positive 3/2. 14 is a little tricky. They don't give us our points, so let's pick 2 points on an intersection. I'm going to pick this one, and I'm going to pick this one. Remember, we have to do our rise over our run. And then going from the left to the right. So if this is our left, how far do I go up to get to this one? I don't go up at all, do I? They're on the same, right? I don't go up. So my rise is 0, but my run is 2. So 0/2. 0/2 is the same as 0. So this actually has a slope is 0. So we need to remember horizontal lines. Horizontal lines have a slope of 0. All horizontal lines will. Let's go on to 15. This is work that we did back in lesson 11. You did with the Miss McGinnis in the video. And so they want us to figure out the slope of this graph. Well, we can do it by doing our points. We have this point and this point, right? So this is going to be a positive because it's going up and to the right. So we go up, what, 3.5, right? Over 1, or just 3.5, right? We can also look at this. Here, we changed by 3.5, right, when we went up 1 here. We go up from 3.5 to 7, so we're going up 3.5 with 1 here. we're going up 3.5 here when we go from 2 to 3. 10.5 to 14, we're going up 3.5 when we go up 1 more gallon. So each time we're going up 3.5 gallons. So our slope is the 3.5. We can also realize that 10.5 divided by 3 is the 3.5. Let's go on to 16. What is our unit rate? Number 1 says, what's our unit rate, right? 6.4. Here we go up 6.4 for this minute. For this minute, we went from 6.4 to 12.8, which is going up another 6.4 in this 1 minute. Here we're going up another 6.4 in this minute. And here we're going up 6.4 in this minute. Also, if you look at the 32 divided by 5, 32 divided by 5 is that 6.4. So her unit rate is 6.4 square feet per minute, right? 6.4 square feet in each minute. If we look at this graph, what's our slope? We go from here to about here, which is about 6.4 in 1 minute. So our slope is 6.4 over 1, or 6.4. So notice that our slope is the same as our unit rate. Have a good day, and I'm also putting up the video of Slope Dude on Teams, so make sure you see that.